What I am doing right now, every second in heaven. The world imagines heaven as a distant, serene realm, a place of rest where the work is finished and the king merely reigns in quiet majesty. They see my ascension as my final departure, a physical separation that ended my active involvement with human affairs. But I tell you, my exaltation to the right hand of the Father was not retirement. It was the commencement of my greatest, most essential, and most terrifyingly active ministry. What I am doing right now, every second in heaven, is the continuous execution of my roles as high priest, king, and architect. A perpetual high-stakes work that ensures the salvation of every believer, secures the destiny of the cosmos, and prepares the perfect holy space for my return. The focus of humanity is trapped in the immediacy of the earthly struggle, the daily anxieties, the political upheaval, the slow grind of the temporal. They forget that the axis of the universe is not on earth. It is centered on the throne of God, and I am there. My current ongoing ministry has three simultaneous dimensions: intercession, sovereignty, and preparation. These are the constant, unseen acts that guarantee your ultimate victory. The first and most critical thing I am doing right now in the presence of the Father is fulfilling my role as your eternal high priest, a ministry that provides unceasing, perfect coverage for every single soul who calls upon my name. My work on the cross was the single, once-for-all sacrifice for sin. But the work of the high priest does not end with the sacrifice. It continues with the application and maintenance of that sacrifice, the eternal advocacy. The Apostle John wrote, "My little children, these things I write to you so that you may not sin. And if anyone sins, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous." 1 John 2:1. I am your paraclete, advocate, in the heavenly court, the one who stands between the Father's holiness and your moments of failure. Every time you stumble, every time the accuser, Satan, rises to present your record of sin, I intervene. I do not argue your innocence. I point to my eternal blood and my perfect righteousness, which covers you entirely. The continuous prayer. I am perpetually interceding for you, not in pleas of desperation, but in claims of right. My prayer ensures that your faith does not fail in the midst of temptation, just as I prayed for Peter, Luke 22:32. This intercession is not a favor. It is a covenant obligation that guarantees the efficacy of your salvation. The perfect application. I ensure that the grace necessary for every trial, every temptation, and every moment of doubt is perfectly and perpetually supplied to you. The moment you face a need, my intercession has already secured the provision. The true comfort for the believer is this: you never approach the Father alone, and your salvation is never dependent on your momentary performance. The King of Glory is actively praying for you right now, securing your position. Do you approach the Father with hesitation, believing your sin has separated you from Him? The veil is torn, and your high priest is pleading your case. If the truth of my continuous perfect intercession liberates you from guilt and fear, I invite you to subscribe now. Let us live in the security of my perpetual advocacy. The second thing I am doing right now is exercising absolute sovereignty over the entire cosmos, a reality that terrifies the kings and principalities of this world. Upon my resurrection, I declared, "All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth." Matthew 28:18. My ascension was not a retreat, it was an enthronement. I now rule with the full, uncontested authority of the Godhead, putting down all rule and authority. The Apostle Paul affirmed that I must reign till he has put all enemies under his feet. 1 Corinthians 15:25. Right now, every war, every governmental decision, every economic shift, and every natural disaster is occurring under my direct surveillance and sovereign permission. Kings and rulers believe they are acting on their own free will. They are merely chess pieces in my eternal game plan. I am restraining evil, directing history toward its final conclusion, and ensuring that no force, human or demonic, can ultimately thwart my redemptive purposes. The head of the church. Right now, I am the head of the church, Ephesians 5:23. I am steering my body, guiding its mission, supplying its needs, and protecting it from destruction. The Church's survival through millennia of persecution is not a historical accident. It is the direct result of my sovereign moment-by-moment protection, treading the winepress. My sovereignty is terrifying to kings because I am passively treading the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. Revelation 19:15. Every king who institutes injustice, every ruler who persecutes my people, and every authority who denies my lordship is accumulating a debt that my sovereignty will one day settle. I am patiently waiting for the full measure of human rebellion to be revealed before my return. My presence on the throne means that nothing is random, nothing is outside of control, and every act of injustice will face an ultimate reckoning. This is why the prophecy of my return terrifies kings, because their power is temporary, but my verdict is eternal. The third and most intimate thing I am doing right now is fulfilling the promise I made to my disciples the night before the cross, preparing their eternal home. I told them, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also." John 14:2-3. The architect of eternity. This preparation is not a simple construction job. It is the architectural completion of the new heavens and the new earth, the final, perfect environment where righteousness dwells. I am perfecting the space where you will experience unhindered fellowship with the Father, free from the stain of sin and the presence of sorrow, perfecting the bride. Simultaneously, my spirit on earth is perfecting the bride, the church, preparing her to occupy that perfect space. My work in heaven is matched by the Spirit's work on earth, ensuring that the place is ready for the people, and the people are ready for the place. I am making sure that the redeemed are fitted for the kingdom and the kingdom is fitted for the redeemed. The guarantee of return. The act of preparation is the non-negotiable guarantee of my second coming. I am not building a home and forgetting about it. The completion of the preparation is the signal for my return. The moment the last brick is laid and the final detail is perfected, I will descend to receive my church. My current work means that every believer can rest assured. Your ultimate destination is secure, and it is being designed specifically for you by the Son of God Himself. Do you live your life focused solely on the temporary homes and fleeting struggles of this world, forgetting the magnificent eternal home I am preparing for you? My preparation is your greatest hope. If the truth of your heavenly mansion fills you with enduring joy, share this narrative. Let the world know the nature of our guaranteed future. Before you continue, make sure you are subscribed. The fourth chapter reveals the necessary consequence of my continuous work. A necessary consequence of my continuous work in heaven as high priest and king is the outpouring and distribution of spiritual gifts to the church. My ascension led to the greatest act of giving. When He ascended on high, He led captivity captive and gave gifts to men. Ephesians 4:8. Empowering the mission. My intercession secures your identity. My sovereignty secures your position, and my gifts secure your capacity to execute the mission. Right now, I am distributing and activating the gifts of the Spirit, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, to equip the saints for the work of ministry. Ephesians 4:11-12. Building the body. The gifts are not for personal amusement. They are the tools I am using from heaven to build the church into a unified, mature, and effective force in the world. Every spiritual gift you possess, whether it is teaching, serving, giving, or mercy, is a direct, active line of communication and power emanating from my throne to you. The Living Testament. The continued existence of miracles, healing, prophecy, and effective evangelism is the living, active testament that I am not absent but am personally leading my church from heaven. What I am doing right now, every second, is ensuring that the resources, the power, and the personnel necessary to fulfill the Great Commission are always available to the global church. The ultimate purpose of all my work, the intercession, the sovereignty, the preparation, and the gift-giving, is the glorification of the Father. My time on earth was consumed with this purpose. I have glorified you on the earth. I have finished the work which you have given me to do. John 17:4. Now, from the throne, my perpetual ministry continues this single-minded focus, the eternal worship. Right now in heaven, the angels, the elders, and the redeemed are engaged in ceaseless eternal worship, crying out, "You are worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for you created all things, and by your will they exist and were created." Revelation 4:11. My presence is the very core and object of this unending glorification, the vindicating testimony. My current ministry vindicates the Father's plan of redemption. It demonstrates that He is both perfectly just in demanding a sacrifice and perfectly loving in providing one. My intercession ensures that the Father's holiness is never compromised, even as He pours out grace upon the undeserving. The final consummation. All of history is being funneled into the final moment when I return, and the Father is eternally glorified by the completion of the kingdom, a kingdom populated by a redeemed humanity, purchased by my blood. What I am doing right now every second is weaving your story, your struggles, and your triumphs into the eternal tapestry of the Father's glory. Are you living your life in alignment with the high-stakes, perpetual ministry I am executing from the throne? Your life is my mission, and my intercession is your security. Subscribe now and dedicate yourself to walking in the power of the gifts, resting in the security of my intercession, and living in the urgency of my imminent return, all for the glorification of the Father.